welcome back to episode 10 of my F1 2016 Force India career mode. As you can see, today we are at my home Grand Prix, the Grand Prix at Silverstone, obviously the British Grand Prix to those of you who didn't know F1 well. And I'm not going to bother with qualifying or anything because I recorded it a couple of days beforehand from the race and things, so plus not a lot interesting particularly happened. I think we qualified fairly average, but we're going to have a look through the qualifying order now. Rosberg followed by Vettel, Raikkonen and Verstappen make up the top four. And then if we look further down, we've got myself in P5, it was very strong from us, Ricciardo in P6, Hamilton having an absolute torrid time in P7 with Bottas, Massa and Perez rounding out the top 10. Jenson Button, Grosjean, Kvyat and Sainz were in 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th respectively. But moving on then into the Grand Prix, having a look at our race strategy, we're actually going to try and gamble something, although we can't type it in the game, like it won't let us set it up that way. We are going to try a set of softs, hards, then softs once again. But moving on into the race then, 5 lights. And away we go for the British Grand Prix there. Ricciardo gets an absolutely terrible start there on our inside there. So we're going to move straight past him up into P4. Having a look at the inside of Kimi Raikkonen into turn 1. He just completely squeezes us off the apex there. Not really sure what that was all about. But we get the warning for that rather oddly there. I was a bit surprised by it, won't lie. As Raikkonen basically just cut straight in front of us there. But not too much to worry about. Obviously no front wing damage. It wasn't even a penalty, so we can't really complain too much about it. But just following Raikkonen through this next sector of corners here. We're not going to be able to reel him in as he's got a lot of slipstream off Vettel. As I keep mentioning on this game just how important slipstream is. Obviously if he keeps within slipstream of Vettel, we may struggle to catch him. But as we can see coming into sector 2, you just see how much we do close Raikkonen down. I'm going to look around the outside there, but he just gets a much better line through the corner there. And then we get an absolutely beautiful run using all the curb on the exit here. Slipstreaming down this front, the old front straight, sorry. And we're going to have a look up the inside, but think better of it going into the old turn 1 there. I think it probably isn't a safe move, especially on lap 1. You don't really want to be making anything too drastic. Obviously, you got a lot of time. The race is never won in the first corner. But we're just going to follow him through the old sector 1 here. Obviously, the quick left-right change of direction is really where an F1 car really comes alive and separates itself from any other form of motorsport. And then coming on to the first DRS straight here. Sorry, the second DRS straight. Obviously, no DRS here on lap 1. But we're going to have a look up the inside of Raikkonen. And again, think better of it, is he is just too far ahead of us at this stage. But coming through, again, absolutely beautiful run. Give him a little bit of a push through there. We've got yellow flags behind us as someone has span off slightly there. I'm just going to move up the inside of Raikkonen as we go back into the green flags there. Just really catch them off guard. So we move up into P3 of the British Grand Prix there. But moving on to the end of lap 2 here, as you can see, moving on to lap 3 now. Raikkonen is still right on our gearbox. He's going to throw it up the inside into turn 1. We're going to have to give him the room on the exit. Ran a little bit wide there and decided to not rejoin the track there. So we're going to give him back the position as well. It's cost us a heck of a lot of time there, but we are going to have slipstream down the straight, but that isn't actually going to come to any effect in the end. We're not going to be able to make the moves, as you can see there as well. Just on the bottom right hand side, we were then flicking up into the hard tyres for our pit stop there. But moving on to lap 4 now, as you can see, we are still right behind Raikkonen. This lap we are a lot closer to him coming on to this first DRS straight here. As you can see, obviously we were miles within the 1 second region. So we're just going to be able to get the DRS, obviously, with how OP slipstream is in this game. We're going to move to the outside of him. He gives us a bit of a squeeze there, as I thought he was going to try and defend into the corner there, but we're not going to be able to get the move to stick. We are purple in the first sector, though, as well, as we give him another little push through the corner there. Are we going to be able to go around his outside? No, we cannot, as Verstappen now is trying to join in the party here, but that is really not what we need at this point. Moving on now, we are still reeling in Raikkonen down the front, down the old front straight here, sorry. We're just going to move up the inside into turn 1. He's going to try and hold it around our outside, but that is definitely not going to work out well for him there. As we move up once again into P3 of the British Grand Prix there. But moving on, just going out into the final complex here. As you can see, at the end of this lap, the tyre wear has been absolutely dreadful so far this race for us, which has really not been reassuring considering we were trying to go for a very, very tyre wearing strategy here. The tyres all will be stretched to the absolute limit. But moving on to the end of lap 4, as you can see that we have come into the pits here. Very, very early pits. I think no one else did actually come to the pits, or maybe 1 or 2 AI down the back end of the field decided to join us there, which is a bit unassuring. As you can see, the Williams team is out there as well, and so is Force India. And I think that was Toro Rosso as well, just coming out as we ran over one of their drivers there. You know, just beautiful optimisation in that game. As we can see, moving on, if we have a look in the top left here, we are now down into P20 of 22 of the British Grand Prix there. But obviously, we are 1 pit stop up on everyone else so far. It's not really a lot can go wrong. Obviously, we've got a nice lot of clean air as well here. So I've got quite a good feeling about this still, actually, rather surprisingly. But then moving on to the end of lap 5 here, as you can see, we are just coming through. Obviously, a lot of people are going to come into the pits, as this was what was predicted to be a normal lap to make the pit stops on. How many positions are we going to make? Our teammate Perez is in the pit, so we're going to move straight past him. This is pretty much to see where we are in comparison to the rest of the field there. As we move past Lewis Hamilton there and Max Verstappen on the exit, he is not very far behind us though, so I'm worried that Raikkonen at this stage might have actually got the jump on us after the pit stops there, which is a bit of a shame to see if he has done so. But still, moving on into the fast complex of lap 6 here. As you can see, just Verstappen is right on our gearbox, so we have to double turn into the corner there, as you just mistimed it slightly on our first attempt there. And virtual safety car has come out there, which was a huge shame for us, because that means it's cost us a heck of an amount of time there, as all the AI that haven't made their first pit stop yet almost get a free pit stop, if you will. Obviously, they won't lose a lot of time, and that is why we've got the safety car. Daniel Kvyat has just completely parked it on the exit of the corner there, and that is really going to cost us a lot of time. A lot of the drivers, rather surprisingly, don't actually come for a pit stop there, as a lot of the drivers are on the medium set tyres here. We're just reading in Sebastian Vettel. He's going so slowly. We are going to overtake him, and then remember that you can't do that. So we're just going to have to let him back through there as well. Verstappen then tries being a bit cheeky with it as well, so we're just going to have to block off from him. But the virtual safety car now is ending as we try and launch it past Vettel there, but the green flag hasn't come out yet. But throwing it up his inside into turn 3 there. Sorry, probably really annoying him though. But still, we were a bit cheeky there, but we have got the move. And apart from the guys that are obviously miles ahead of us now, technically we are in P2, only behind Nico Rosberg, as Vettel was running in second place there. Not really sure where Raikkonen is at this stage of the Grand Prix. I have no idea. I've completely lost track of where he is. Verstappen, as I look down our inside into turn 5 there, but it's not, sorry, into turn 7 there. But that's not going to work out for him very well. So we come through the next corner there. We get a little bit wide as we just lock up the front wheel slightly there. And Verstappen's just going to slip through in the end, as we move down into P10 of the British Grand Prix there. A bit of a shame to see we lost the position so easily, but hopefully we should be able to get the position back very soon. And as you can see now, at the end of lap 7, we're going to just throw it up his inside into the final complex there. He's going to be able to hold it around the outside, but he just runs it over the curb slightly on the exit, compromising his run. We're trying to hold it around the outside here. Whether we're going to be able to do so, hold it around the outside into the first part, that means we've got the inside for the second part of the corner there. I'm just going to move up the inside of Max Verstappen there, back into P9 of the Grand Prix, as we've got quite a few drivers that have made their pit stops as well, so we move up into P5 now. But as you can see on the mini-map behind us, we have started to form a little bit of a train here, which might end up costing us a lot of time. Raikkonen also has jumped us absolutely massively there, as we can see him just whiz around the corner just ahead of us there, which is a huge shame for us. But moving on to the second DRS straight of lap 8, Verstappen's going to go straight past us, but Vettel's going to try and follow him through there. And Hamilton's going to go up our inside there. We were nearly 4 wide into the final corner there. I thought, sorry, not the final corner, but I thought 3 wide last week out was pretty amazing. But 4 wide there going into the last complex there, which is a bit of a shock for us. We back out of it very early on, but get Hamilton into the next corner there. Verstappen and Vettel are still going to dispute over 5th place there, as Verstappen nearly takes him out, as we're going to lose the back end nearly over the final curve there. Get incredibly close to the pit. We'll try and throw it up the inside of Max Verstappen into turn 1 there. He runs hugely wide. We nearly lose the back end as well. There's yellow flags out. That is because I think Verstappen has ran wide there. But then we move back up into P4 of the Grand Prix there. We still have got a very strong chance of scoring a podium here. And we also have to remember the fact we are on the harder compound tyres here as well. But moving on to the end of lap 9 there, Vettel gets a huge lock-up going into the final complex there as well, which is a huge shame for him. But that means we move up into P3 of the British Grand Prix here. But moving on to lap 12 now, as you can see, Vettel is not giving up the position. It seems to be we can keep up with him when he's in front, as he seems to be a little bit slower. But whoever's behind is slightly quicker, which obviously is just knobbing us both up. We're losing plenty of time to Raikkonen and Hamilton, as they've pretty much just walked away here. We're pretty much guaranteeing the top 2 steps of the podium there. Vettel's just going to throw it down our inside and pretty much park it on the apex there, which really annoyed me, as we're going to try and hold it around his inside through the next corner. Not going to work out well for us. We've actually got Felipe Massa here, who's trying to join the party. Not really sure what that's all about. Felipe, can you please back out? Obviously another torrid weekend out there for Williams, which is a huge shame to see for them. The amount of R&D they're putting into the car at the moment really isn't being reflected by the race results here, as we can see. But moving on, obviously we're not too worried about the Williams laps down behind us, but we are more worried about Sebastian Vettel, who's just in front of us still. Hopefully if we can maximise our run down the second DRS straight, we should be able to get back past him here. As you can see, obviously we've got the DRS, we get the DRS flap open, And we're just going to reel him in absolutely massively. We're going to look to the outside so we have the racing line into the corner. He's going to give us a monumental squeeze there. No idea how he managed to fit around the outside there. But he's just going to hold it up the inside into the final few corners there. And he's going to maintain the position there as Massa's still looking like he's going to try and benefit from this. We have to take avoiding action around Vettel into the final couple of corners there. But he's going to be able to again hold the position there, which is a huge pain in the arse for us. But still moving on to lap 13, halfway stage of the Grand Prix. We are still slotted in nicely behind Sebastian Vettel in a very, very strong place for Force India here. And then coming through turn 2 there, we get an absolutely beautiful run. Going to try and look up the inside. He's going to lock up again, miss the apex ever so slightly there. It's going to cost him a little bit of time. We're just going to focus on getting our good run onto the DRS straight here as he gets a horrible, horrible run there in comparison to what he could have. He didn't defend the position particularly well there coming onto the straight. So we're going to just get the DRS, move to the inside of him into the next corner there. And we're just going to get the move done. Absolutely textbook move there. Just using the DRS to our advantage there. As Massa's still trying to look like he could try and unlap himself there, which would be a bit of a pain in the arse for everyone else. But as we can see at the end of lap 15 there, Vettel has actually come in and made his pit stop here. We're going to move him to P2 because Rosberg has made his stop as well. So this is roughly when the AI are making their stops to move on to the harder set tyres. Perez, our teammate, has also come in there, but obviously we're going to try and stretch him out to lap 18 here. As you can see, the tyres are at 90%. There was no way we were going to make another lap on this, as we were in the lead of the Grand Prix at this point. Just trying to make sure we nail the pit entry line there. Absolutely get it spot on there as well. I don't think we could have done it much better than that. As tracks like Silverstone don't really have a very good guidance point to where you do want to brake. But coming into the pits, obviously, it does mean for the final stint of the Grand Prix, we are going to be on quicker tyres than everyone else here. So I have actually got a very, very good feeling about this. Hopefully we should be able to possibly even catch Raikkonen at this stage of the Grand Prix. But hopefully, based on how much quicker these soft tyres are over the hard tyres, it should be very, very good for us. Raikkonen moves past us here. I don't think Hamilton is going to be able to do so, as he is so far behind as we look on the mini-map there. But we forget how long this pit lane really is, and also how slow it is. 37 miles an hour. Come on, guys, can you really pick up the pace? And Hamilton is actually going to be able to jump us there as we come out the pits, which is a huge, huge shame for us. But we're now going to have to focus on getting another overtake done on him. And moving on to lap 19 here, as we can see, just getting the DRS flap open, as we will be moving down the back straight. Sorry, here. Can we get the overtake done? We start from a fairly long way back here. Having a look around the outside, he's going to fend off the position there. But we're just going to move up the inside into the corner there, run hugely, hugely wide, doing a Rosberg kind of overtake there, while trying to defend the position, in fact. But we move up back onto the podium of the British Grand Prix. And now moving on to the end of lap 20 there, as you can see, we go purple. We are trying to reel in Kimi Raikkonen at this stage, and it was looking like it could be incredibly, incredibly close. As you can see at the end of lap 23, the pace has just completely gone out the window. As you can see, the tyres are over 70% wear at this stage, which is a huge, huge shame. We're going to pretty much have to nurse the tyres to the end, because it was either we try and stretch them to the end and potentially get second place, or we get a puncture and just completely lose out on all the solid points we will be scoring here. So I do decide, we'll calm it down a bit, we'll wind it down, try and hold this podium position here. But Hamilton at this stage has got a huge amount of pace behind us, and he's just going to reel us in absolutely massively, moving on to the final lap of the Grand Prix there. As you can see how worn the tyres are, Hamilton is right behind us. We're not going to be able to do much to defend from him, rather disappointingly. This is pretty much a fight for the British drivers to actually get on the podium of the British Grand Prix. We try and defend from him into the corner there, but he's just going to move right around our outside. Whether we're able to defend from him, yes we do, absolutely beautifully there. Moving into the next corner though, Hamilton, we're just going to try and absolutely maximise our run, but we get in the wheel in the gravel there, and that's going to cost us a huge amount of time. Hamilton's probably just going to be able to go right round the right side there, which is going to cost us a lot of time there. And that pretty much just cancels us out as not being able to get a podium in this Grand Prix. We are going to follow him through the final few corners here, but as you can see, we're just running hugely, hugely wide there. And having a look through this next complex, he's just going to have so much more grip over us as our tyres are just completely shot. Not going to be able to do anything to try and get close enough to him, even with the DRS down this back straight. We're just not going to be able to close him enough there, which is a huge, huge shame for us. As we can see, we're 4 seconds off our personal best there. And I honestly think if we hadn't hit the gravel there, we still wouldn't have been able to defend the position, which is a huge, huge shame for us. But still, obviously, closing into the final couple of corners of the Grand Prix there. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get a podium at our home Grand Prix there. Hamilton is going to take a podium for Britain though as well, so we can still be fairly happy about that. Still obviously massively disappointed the fact we couldn't get the tyres to the end there. But still a very, very solid 4th place finish there. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new around here. Still on the road to trying to hit 500 subscribers, so hopefully you guys will help me out with that. I'm now going to leave you with the points. Toto Wolff was very, very happy with that final result. Thank you ever so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.